Uh, Today, our objective, we are going to understand that some more way where we as a Java developer can request Java virtual machine, hey JVM, runtime system, Java runtime system, can you create new thread for me, right? The basic couple of we already we understand how to create a class, right? We have already understand the different way like extend extends from your thread class, right? We already understand like implement runnable. Okay? Any example we did, right?
Right.
And similarly, we have understand your instead without implementation method reference. Any method we can call method reference, method reference, and even we can also have a couple of example about executor service, right?
Yeah.
And one more we have understand implement callable interface. This is the class, this is the interface, this is the interface, right? And method reference are executor service. So till now we have to understand these are the different way. Okay? You can say one, two, three, four, five. Five way we can say my code run in a separate thread, right? Till now understood. So couple of more concept we are going to understand like two more way we can I'm going to explain. Number six is the your completable future concept. Completable future. And one more completable completable. And one more about the concept latest release in the latest version like virtual thread. Okay? Till now these two sections we have not covered. Okay, and all this already covered how we can say, hey, this is the my code and run in the not main thread in a separate thread, right?
Right.
Question is that let's just I'm revise all that so I have you are not any confusion, right? What till we did, right? I will all remember. I can just revise them. Okay, let me quickly one liner example. Okay, so that and this two today our topic is going to complete understand about this completable future phase, and next maybe one to a class later we are going to understand this virtual thread. Once we complete these 7 steps, we can say almost you can say we have completed the way Java say how Java developer can execute his own method, his own code in the separate thread, right? So let us example. So, so let's good example. This is number one. How to number one do? Number one say just write a class, my a class. Let's keep my head extend that class, right? And here say just you have to override the your run method, right? and here say it's out. Uh, my code is executed by a thread. Okay, by thread. Right. Yeah, just name the which here objective. If you are writing code this way and simply here say write my thread object equal to new my thread, and if you directly call this run method, and after that you run, then you can say this line of code is executed by main thread itself, not the separate thread, right? Because you are not started thread, right? This is the so notice this code is executed by our main thread only, right? So this is our intention. Not this is my code. I want to run by the not main thread, not other than main thread, right? So what say instead of run, I can say hey, let's using the dot start method, right? Why I am able to call start method on my class? Because my class inherited from the thread class. A thread class have a start method, right? Main completed. So it is the one way. First way, you can use the thread dot extend and notice
Right.
now created by thread 0, right?
Right.
So this is the first way. Whatever the code, whatever the method you want to run in the separate thread, not in the main thread, you have to write those code in here in the run method, right? This is the one way. Second way, no, I can use the runnable interface. So I can say class
হ্যাঁ,
my
চোখ বড় বড় টাকা
run,
যতই দিই
runnable
কমতেছে না, ফুল ভলিউম টাকা আছে।
my runnable implement runnable interface. And here say again you have to override the same run method here. And here say this is the my thread end code. Here say simply my thread, my runnable code.
থাক থাক থাক, ভয় পেতেছে।
And if you now question is that this is the runnable interface. So how can it start as a thread? Here say you can use the new thread class and pass the runnable object and say dot start. Because start method have a inside the thread class only. So you can say runnable and pass the start method and you can just run. So this is way using the implement runnable, and you have to pass the object new object of runnable, right? So maybe here you can write this way, or just take a variable here, or you can simply say here my runnable, my runnable equal to new runnable, and my runnable just call and pass the here. So this is the way. Second way, you can start say this is the code executed by not main thread but the different threads. So notice this code is executed by thread 1. So this is the second way you can use it this way. So this is the first two way, and even one more way here using the lambda expression. Okay, using the lambda expression, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So one way instead I'm not interested to write a class, even I'm not interested to write the class, I can simply why not write this code only itself, right? So here say third way, simply new, or one more way you can say like maybe whatever number, see using anonymous. Okay, Anon anony anonymous class. Okay, so another way, instead of writing class, I cannot write full code. I can write here main method itself. So here say new thread, new threads, and dot start. This is the good thing. But this code I want, so why not this code I write itself inside this here itself? You write code itself here, maybe in the block itself, or maybe some variable. You can say here, maybe say runnable runnable and equal to, I'm not interested to write code, only I'm interested to only this part. Okay, this is just copy code here, and just paste new, and just here semicolon, and you can use this using the anonymous clause. Now you can pass this using the anonymous class. Ajay. Runnable, it's also way here say not implement runnable, just anonymous class. Anonymous class. Okay, this is the way also you can say this code is executed by without any class. Notice here I at least class, two class, maybe extending, maybe implementing. Here say ki don't write a class, just you need an interface, just pass your this way. Simply you can run, and notice this code is also executed by the separate thread other than the main. Okay, this is the anonymous code, right? It executed by thread 2.
Right.
Even say already we do the lambda expression, so you can write the same code. Hey, thread and dot start, and here this code, why not this pass itself with this code inside itself possible? You can copy and paste completely code here. It's also fine. Okay? Inside anonymous, right? Even you don't declare some variable and then call here. You can in this run constructor you can write the complete code. It's also feasible, right? So you can
Right.
run inside anonymous. You can also do it. Notice inside anonymous also executed by thread 3 line. Even better, you can say, hey, even I know the lambda expression, so I can simply say new thread dot start, and this is the code I want. This just copy this code, right? This is the only the code I want to execute. No input, simply paste inside the here itself. Okay, and just make a lambda expression. It's work fine. So this is known as your lambda expression code. Okay, lambda. Now this is the thread class. Pass the lambda expression, and this code is also run by the sub thread. And even notice lambda expression is equal to thread 4, right? So even good option. Why I am going to writing code here? If I have this might be I have some method, which my static my 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 process method. Let's give my process method. Okay, void my process, and why and this is the line of code written, right? Okay, okay. This is the my process method. Why not my method code can be written in a separate class? My method, um, okay, or you can say method reference. E- Even they here say, hey, new thread dot start, and here I can pass my method itself. I'm not able to pass runnable, I'm not able to pass class method reference anything. I can call my method itself here. So this is a static method, so you have to use a class name. This is my class name, sample, so I can say sample and my process. So this is the way you can call, say, using the method reference, you can say, hey, this is the code. Hey, JVM can run a separate thread. Notice this code written by the thread 5, right? So these are the different way till now we have to understand using this thread class to start your thread. Okay.
Right.
Till now, we have already covered multiple example of that. So let's go, and we have also this one, we have also option to executor service and callable interface, right? These two example, let's. So here say executor service say, so let's come. So here say, now instead of manually I'm going to starting code. Is it possible? I'm not going to manually start. Why not Java virtual machine itself start, right? So we are going to use the executor service. Executor service. Executor service say new, and executors executors dot maybe any thread pool concept. So don't need a new. We are using the executors dot new thread pool, and always try to allocate into the try block, right? I discussed, because they are creating the pool of RY pool of threads, and here we have a method like here say, simply say not submit, and submit method you can pass maybe same method reference whatever you have, right? Here you can pass here and it's run. Notice, so here till now in the whatever you passing here as a method reference, as a lambda expression, as a anonymous class, as a runnable object, as a class, all the things you can just pass in the submit method, all work fine. Even you can write here, maybe you can simply write this code itself here, say executor dot submit, and some completely and lambda expression whatever you want to pass here, it's work fine. So all the things whatever you done in this thread class, same you can do in this executor service dot submit method, right? Maybe you can pass this runnable object itself, right? This is your runnable object, you can pass runnable object from here. Simply say executor service dot submit and pass the runnable object. Even executor submit dot your submit, you can pass any number of, let's see here you can create my runnable you can pass. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Till now, before here, whatever the way you learn to write, say using a manual start, even you can this my thread class, you can pass here. Okay, simply
Right.
as submit. All the work fine. The generally preferable way nowadays, you can use executor service to run your code in the separate thread. So notice all these things is run by your thread pool, right? So
Right.
notice all this code is run by thread pool, thread pool, thread pool, thread pool, multiple thread pool, right? So executor service preferable way, whenever you have any method like this is the code I want to run a separate thread, just say pass your method reference, or lambda expression, or runnable interface, or runnable class, or your complete class, right?
Right.
All is done. Now, this is the preferable way. Whenever you want to multi-threading, please use executor service, because they are recreate the pool of threads, and for different submit, they can reuse the threads, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
They can reuse the thread.
reuse the threads. Yes, they are not creating. Let's say here I am submitted 100 tasks, so they are not going to create 100 tasks. You say कि two threads sufficient, yeah, four threads sufficient, right?
Right.
So till now, this is the what the left. This is the extend class done, implementation class done, anonymous class, method reference, executor service done. Only left one is the callable interface. Okay. Let's look the example here, right?
Right.
So callable interface. Callable interface is the main difference between what is the callable interface and runnable interface. Let's look. So here's runnable interface, and here is the callable interface. Callable interface.
Runnable interface is the you extend runnable, so you can create
Notice
thread.
here, this is the functional interface. They have only one method, run. A run
Hmm.
method is not taking any input and not returning any value,
Right. Hmm.
right? So till now, whatever example you written here, those are the return. They are not returning any value. Okay, but sometime you say, hey, main my application started new threads. New thread is started, right? They
Right.
are executing printing separate threads, a good option. Sometime I want this thread return some value to me.
Right.
So till now, whatever example we before we did, all just doing some instruction separately, but not returning any value to you.
Right.
So sometime you want my thread can return some value. So in this case, this callable interface help us.
Right.
The only difference is between runnable and callable. Runnable is not taking any input from you and not returning any value. Very rude person.
Right.
Callable say कि I am at least return some value to you, or any error or any problem I will inform. Right?
Right.
Right? So this is notice the callable interface have a EV functional interface, but have a notice they return some value and they throw exception. If some problem
Okay.
happen, they throw exception. And if you want to some return value, they return the value as you guys. So whenever you are going to decide, I am going to create multiple thread, and in this thread you want to some return value, then you have to take the references of your callable interface, right?
Right.
So let's see how to implement them. So as you know, interface, this is the functional interface. The functional interface can be implemented in a multiple way, right?
Yeah. So we can.
The uh, callable is a callable is a functional interface, right?
Right.
It's a functional interface. Yeah, and it can be implemented same. It can be implemented as a following, right? Same as a implementation class. Implementation class or anonymous class or as a lambda expression, as a lambda expression or as a method reference. Okay? Method reference. Okay? So these are the four way we can do: class implementation, anonymous, three, and four. Right? Already we did same for notice here runnable interface. Runnable interface we did first the with the implementation class, right?
Right.
Second way, anonymous. Third way, lambda expression. This is the lambda expression. Fourth way, method reference. The same thing you can do from for the callable interface, right?
Right.
Okay. So listen, callable interface. Let's class simply let's class and my implement callable interface, right? Callable interface. So in callable, whenever you take the callable interface, you have to decide to what kind of value you want to return, right? Because they return some value. So here
Right.
you have to give the indication to callable. Hey, I want to return some integer value, right? This is the differences between now you have to override this method, right? Call method. So notice they return this integer value. So whenever you are going to implement callable interface, you have to decide I want to return integer value, string value, float value, whatever the value, right? Yeah, string class, then string, whatever you want, right?
Right.
So you have to decide here. So let us I want to uh, return some string. So you can say here write string. Here you write the string. So whatever the things want to return, you have to specify here, and return you have to return whatever you want, right? Okay. Hello, hello.
Right.
Return from call. Okay. Let's plus thread name, thread dot current thread dot get name. Okay. So now this is the way you can create the implementation class. This is the implementation class. So how to use them? You can create the object. A my callable. Okay, callable. Okay, it's done. Question is how I can start them. How can so let's simple for how to say hey Java virtual machine run this code in the multi-threaded environment. So how to say again we are going to use the executor service. Executor service executor service equal to let's tutors dot here you can use the try block, right?
Right.
Try block and simply say executor submit dot submit. And notice here submit is the overloaded method. One accept runnable object, another also accept your callable object. Notice,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you can pass both. Notice here return they return future of t. T means here my t is the string. So here they return future of a string. Okay.
So it's
So in
overloaded.
yeah,
So you can
the
use
overloaded method.
container.
Correct. This
Mhm.
is the overloaded. So I'm going to submit matter and say, hey, my callable. This is my callable. I call them, right? And they return me the value, right?
Mhm.
Now we have a value, and here say, hey, submit, get me value, and they return me the actual value, whatever uh, response result or okay, result value, okay,
Right.
from thread, okay, and here says out. So this is the way. Sometime you want to get notice that this method is the blocking method. Here, get method are expecting this thread once complete and they return me value, right? Until this thread is not completed, right?
Right.
Maybe they are doing some loop. It will take some time. So they are waiting. Okay. So this is known as a blocking call. Means here your thread is wait for the result. So you have to use this uh, some eight clauses. Okay, simply you have to use the try catch so that I can. Okay, if you run here now, unexpected exception. Let's say exception. Okay, so this method, please be note. Till now in the multi-threading, so this run method, whatever the method, before all not returning any value. So our main thread is started and just doing our own work main thread. But now our main thread is started this callable interface. After that, they have to wait for the response, right?
Right.
So this would be named a future object. From future, you say future dot get, right? And notice if I am going to run, I am getting what value? This is the value I am return. Okay, hello return value. Hello return value. I am receive this value because this my thread return the string value. So this is a complete string. And if you run in this way, callable interface is help us to return some value. Notice return value from this thread pool, right? Notice thread one return this value, right?
Right.
So this is the way you can implement this. Or similarly you can say here I can go anonymous class. So simply anonymous class means don't give any name. Just say here whatever the dear say callable. Let's say I want to return some integer value, right? Integer here or string itself. Let's callable and say hey I want to return integer value. Okay, callable int callable and here say new callable integer and now here return some value. Let's say I return 100 value, right? 105 value, any value, right? This thing you can also pass again here. Again say hey dot submit. So here say executor service dot submit. I pass my this. So what they return value? They return the integer, future of integer, right?
Right.
Notice they return future of integer. Here say future dot get, and they return the value, integer value. Okay, int value. Okay, and you can say int value. So notice these threads are returning the string value. These threads returning your string value. This one is string. This is integer value, right? Notice.
Right.
So this is the way you can different of. Okay, you have to what say? Okay, expected. I have written some. Okay. Whenever you are writing anonymous class must have need a semicolon, right?
Oh,
Whenever
yeah.
writing anonymous class, you have to write this some value, right? So
Right.
notice I'm getting 105 value, right? Even similarly, here extending class, here you can using this anonymous class, or even you can use the lambda expression here. Say, hey, I am not interested. Simply say, hey, executor service, I want to submit, and this is the code. I am write lambda expression here, and just return 46 value. Okay. Okay. So in this way, your code will return some value here. Maybe here you have written some logic. Say here I am written logic. Say maybe return return 45. Here say out. Okay. Out executing executing callable from lambda expression. Okay.
Right.
Expression, and let's plus the thread name. So you know that this is the executed by the separate thread. Okay. So in this way, executor service say you can pass me the complete object, in implementation object, or lambda, or a implementation class, or anonymous class, or even you can write the lambda expression here itself, right? And if you
Right.
run now, this is the future, and this future you can future dot get value. So this is the out. I say here lambda value, lambda expression value, lambda expression value. Okay, here say and get the value, right? So these are the way where whenever you are talking about the callable, that means they return value. So you have to, instead of just submit, you have to once also need to work get the value, right? Because you want to return some value. So this is the lambda expression. Similarly, you can go with the method reference. That means I have some method. Let this is my method, and this method returns some value. Let's they return some double value. Okay. Okay. Uh, my process style. Okay, and they return some value. Return let's give one double value. Okay. So you can say now notice this is the my method which returns some value. I want to this code run by the different thread, right? You can call this method in your executor service. Here say, okay, hey executor service dot submit. Okay, submit. You call my this process method. Here say simple colon process method. Okay. So notice they return. double value because these methods are returning double. Notice, so
Yeah.
they return with a double value. 3 future dot get. Notice I am getting the double value. Okay, return double value. So in this way, notice this code that have some return value also run from the separate thread and using this method reference concept.
Right.
So callable is the way we one time when you want to return some value. Notice return the value. So till now, these are the all the summary which we discuss the different way you can say, hey, this is my code. Hey, Java virtual machine, can you run in a separate thread? These are the different way using this implement extend thread class or implement runnable or callable or anonymous expression, lambda function, method reference, executor service, right? One,
Right.
two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay,
Yeah.
8 and 9. So till now, they we have given a multiple example here. Many times we did. Just today revise them. Ki this just recap in the one class so that you so whenever you want to write the multi-threading code or a code you run in a multiple thread environment, you have a different way where you can write your code, right?
Right.
So all these the way where we are writing the code, right? Till now, any confusion, any doubt?
No.
Good. So today we are going to the our main topic. It will slowly we are going to that out of time, but let's start basic, and tomorrow we'll continue about this. Another way to request Java Virtual Machine, hey, you run my this code. Okay. So till now we have recommended way always use executor service whenever you want to start service because they have a submit method and submit method can expect runnable object, can expect callable object, can expect lambda expression, can expect method reference. All you can submit them because this is the overloaded method, right?
Right.
And this is also useful because here our Java virtual machine use the pool concept. Pool means reuse your resources. Whenever you are creating this object executor service, please always use the try block so that your pool of threads, once your business logic is completed, automatically going to close, right?
Right.
So this try with resources are very very unique feature about the Java language. You can say they are automatically some file, some resources are open or free. They are going to the close. Here we are creating the let's 10 number of threads pool, and once our logic done, thread is going to stop, right? So this try resource is internally closing all the threads, right? It's good.
Yeah.
So let's just little bit summary about this completable future, and tomorrow we'll continue it. Okay, completable future. The notice completable future is what? Let's check, right? First,
Mhm.
understand the class or what. Okay, let's look it. So notice completable future is a class. Okay, they implement two intermorphes. One is the future interface. One is the completion stage.
Right.
If you notice here, before in this executor service, you notice whenever you pass callable, they return with the future.
Right.
Future means they are expecting our developer can get value from the future object, right? Because
Yeah.
I because I'm not calling this method call manually, can I get the return value, right? This thread is called by my framework, right? So my framework say ki if you want to some expected output, your output is written in the future object, and future dot say get you're getting the value, right? So here
Right.
already we have a familiar future means that this is just a future object where programmer expecting I can started my threads and I am getting my expected result in this future object, right?
Right.
Due to that name is a future, means ki you are getting value maybe some later time. Whenever this line is executed, at the same time you cannot get the value because this thread maybe take a 5 minute time to execute, right? So
Right.
till 5 minutes you are waiting here. The future.get is the blocking call. Here your thread is waiting to get response, right?
Right.
So we are aware. So here this is the completable future also is the using the concept of future. Okay. But here some additional feature this completable future have we're going to discuss in multiple classes, right?
Mm.
Till now it's I think okay, and we'll continue this new concept in the tomorrow, right?
Sure.
Is it okay? It's okay. Just today
Right.
is the class, just the revise the existing thing. Whatever till now we have learned about the multi-threading, the different way you can create the threads, right?
Yeah. So it's just a recap.
Recap of the existing. Till now we have recap all these 7 approaches, right?
Yeah.
And coming later to more approaches, we are going to continue like completable future and virtual thread.
Sure.
Last class will be the virtual threads, and after that, we are going to understand the further collections thread safety concept, right?
Okay. Okay. That's great.
It's good for the day.
Yeah. It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye.